Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Lamplight City. We are in a cathedral or church and we need to get into this chest. But first, we're going to talk to Tom Puffin over here. See if we can figure out any more information for this case, which is very complex.
Are you Tom Puffin?
I am. How may I help you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I wanted to ask you a few questions.
Questions? Have I done something wrong?
No, Mr. Puffin. I simply believe you may have some information that I need.
Very well, then.
Okay. Well, let's ask about Ronan.
Do you recognize the man in this photo?
Is that... No, never mind.
What is it?
Well, for a moment, I thought it was someone else, but I was clearly mistaken.
Suspicious.
So you don't recognize this person, then?
Afraid not. Who is he?
His name is, or rather was, Ronan Lespay.
What? Is he dead?
He is. I'm trying to find out who killed him.
Well, I hope you find your man, Mr. Fordham.
Okay. Priscilla.
Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Priscilla? What does that have to do with anything?
The name has come up in my investigation. Is it someone you're acquainted with?
No, it isn't. I don't know anyone by that name.
He certainly seemed concerned about her, though.
It's very on edge, isn't he? Let's ask about himself.
How did you become choir master of this church?
Oh, well, I studied music at the University of New Britannia. Once I completed my studies, I began writing symphonies in hopes of securing a patron, but I had no luck. So I decided to focus on choral compositions. I said a few pieces to the bishop, and he offered me the position.
And you enjoy it?
Oh, yes, sir, immensely. I'm able to continue composing songs for our choir, as well as teach music to our young members. I take my church duties very seriously.
Of course,
What else do you do besides lead the choir?
Just a few things here and there, making sure the aisles and the pews are clean, tending to the prayer candles, and that sort of thing.
Okay, well, election night.
What were you doing on election night, Mr. Puffin?
Election night? That was ages ago, wasn't it?
It was 4 nights ago, to be precise.
Oh, you have to understand. I have trouble recalling what I ate for breakfast this morning, let alone what happened 4 nights ago.
Well, isn't that convenient?
Yeah, very
Try to
convenient.
remember, Mr. Puffin. It's quite important.
Well, I know I voted at my local polling place, the Silent Raven. And then, I'm not sure, actually.
Why?
Do you know anything about the murder outside the Silent Raven?
Murder?
Yes, a man was shot. Did you see or hear anything?
I don't remember. I don't think so, no.
How long were you at the Raven that evening?
Not very long, I don't think. I went, voted, stayed for a drink, and then I left.
You recall what you did the rest of the evening?
Not specifically. I probably went home and went to bed, like I always do.
This guy is very, very unable to say anything, isn't he?
Are you in the habit of using opium, Mr. Puffin?
What? Why would you think that?
I met your friend Darius. He told me you share a pastime.
All right, yes, I do enjoy a visit to the opium den from time to time.
From time to time? More like morning, noon, and night.
Have you found the drug has had any adverse effects? Memory loss, for example.
I admit I'm not quite as quick as I used to be, but without it, I'm in constant pain.
Is that right?
I fell off a horse when I was 15, and ever since then, my back's not been right. The doctors haven't been able to help. Poppy is my only comfort. I wish there were another way.
It might be worth seeking a more professional opinion about the effects of opium.
Yeah, true. All right, well, let's end that conversation. We don't want to talk
I'll
about
let
the
you
election
resume your
yet.
practicing, Mr. Puffin.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Right, let's try and get into this chest then.
Now this is one intriguing chest. If only we could search it without arousing any suspicion.
Yeah, so we're going to have to try and find a way to search it without arousing suspicions.
A racket. I'm glad you're not a member of this church. Sitting through Sunday Mass would drive me insane. This looks like the nicer of the 2 angels. This angel looks like it would throw its lamp at you as soon as you turned your back on it.
Alright, so is there anything else we can interact with? Just, oh yeah, we could... I think, couldn't we blow out the candle or something? Yeah. Okay. I wonder if this is a puzzle, like a combination puzzle or something. Okay. What happens if we blow them all out?
Well, that's all of them. Hope you made a wish.
Okay. Can we, like, light them up? No? Alright.
This is one intriguing chest. If only we could search it without arousing any suspicions.
Okay. Can we maybe speak to him about the chest?
Could I have another moment of your time, Mr. Puffin?
Yes, I suppose so.
Will you let us in that chest? Oh, the prayer
It
candles.
seems that all the prayer candles have gone out.
Have they? Last, I keep saying there's a draft, but nobody's done anything about it. Excuse me for a moment, won't you?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I wonder if this is going to be the distraction while he's lighting all the candles. Oh god, please don't let us get
Let's
caught
hope
and
this
fail
chest
the
hasn't got squeaky hinges.
case. Dearest Ned, your last letter made me giggle with delight. I just cannot stop dreaming of the day we can finally make our dreams come true and live together as man and wife. I think it would be just the most splendid idea to get a puppy. I've already begun thinking of names. How does Wuffy sound? All my love, P. Could that be Priscilla? Maybe. Oh, he's back. Okay. We weren't doing anything. Okay. Right, he didn't see us. So we still need to speak to Tom Puffin, and we need to find Jimbo at the Crimson Cat. We did get a letter to Ned. Do we know about Ned? Do we have anything about a Ned? No, we don't. Could Ned be the strange man, maybe? I don't think we actually know any other things to do with a Ned, do we? Right, so it still says we need to speak to Tom Puffin.
Could I have another moment of your time, Mr. Puffin?
Yes, I suppose so.
Ah, we can ask him about Ned. Okay,
You know
excellent.
anyone named Ned?
Ned, well, yes, I do. My nephew, Ned Bunkridge.
Your nephew?
Right.
Yes, why do you ask?
Where might I find Ned? I'd like to speak with him.
Is everything all right? Ned hasn't gotten into any trouble, has he?
Don't know.
I always tell him just because he's training his body, that's no excuse to pick fights.
Ooh.
No, he hasn't gotten into any trouble.
Oh, well, he lives in Lyon. 511 Parkside Terrace.
Right. Thank you for the information.
Could Ned be the suspicious person then? Because the body type would
I'll let
maybe
you resume your
match.
practicing, Mr. Puffin.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
If he's like into training his body, maybe. Right, so did that... Yes, so now we've got to find Jimbo and speak to Ned. Okay. I think that we go to the Crimson Cat next. Where is... Oh, okay, that's Ned's all the way up there. So we've been everywhere else now, haven't we? So let's go to the Crimson Cat. We've been meaning to do this for a while.
Ah, the Crimson Cat. One of my favorite underground clubs. Ooh, I spent some wild nights here. Which reminds me, I wonder if Stefan is still working the bar these days.
Alright, let's have a look around, shall we?
Good old Bollingworth Ale. Unlike so many other things in life, it never lets you down. Well, not while you're drinking it anyway. The next morning is another story entirely. Attention customers. Use of Dr. Tennyson's vigor pills while under the influence of alcohol may cause loss of consciousness. It's nice to see this establishment looking out for its patrons.
Yeah.
Seagrave's Stasholine, high-quality mustache wax. You know, I always wondered what you'd look like with a mustache.
That'd be quite funny.
This place has been around for quite some time. That well-dressed feline is Red, the official mascot. Fine beer always served here. Good to know.
Yeah. So we... Okay, we can talk to it. There's a sailor there.
Looks like a view of Claremont Street with St. Denis Cathedral in the background. Call me old-fashioned, but I've always felt the piano should be played by an actual human.
Yeah.
These automated ones just don't have any soul.
I agree with that, actually. I agree with that. So,
Looks like they've got Bollingworth, Millhopper, and Brooklyn Lager. Not a bad set of beers.
yeah.
Quite the selection. It rivals even the Angel.
Okay. Can we talk to the sailor then?
Your name wouldn't happen to be Jimbo, would it?
Yeah? Who's asking?
Miles Fordham, private investigator.
Can a guy enjoy his shore leave without being harassed by the law? I've done nothing wrong.
I didn't say you had, and I'm most certainly not the law. I just want to ask you a few questions.
All right, fine.
Right. So let's ask about the name.
Where does the name Jimbo come from?
It's just a nickname. My real name's James Bogroff.
And what is it you do?
I'm a sailor. I thought you detective types were supposed to be extra observant. Shouldn't you be able to tell me what my occupation was just by looking at my fingernails or something?
Sorry to disappoint. Perceptiveness is important in my line of work, but I'm also just a man.
I think perhaps Jimbo has been reading too many of those detective stories in Brentwood.
All right. Let's ask about Ronan.
You know Ronan the Spey?
I knew him, yeah.
Knew him?
He and I haven't spoken recently. In about a month, actually. Things didn't go so well last time.
How do you mean?
Let's just say we didn't part on the best of terms. He made it very clear that he didn't want to speak to me again.
Okay. Priscilla?
Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Yes, that's my ship, the SS Priscilla.
Oh.
I see. Did Ronan know about it?
Of course. He always used to ask me to bring him back some exotic souvenir.
Okay. Ronan's murder
Were
then.
you aware that Ronan was murdered?
What? No, when? What happened?
He was shot outside a tavern in Chumley 4 nights ago.
Chumley? What was he doing there?
I was hoping perhaps you could tell me.
I honestly don't know. Ronan hardly went out, and he especially never crossed the river.
Why was that?
I think he was just too scared of the world to go out and see it for himself. He was happy enough reading about it in his books or collecting things I brought him back from my travels. Honestly, that's what I liked most about him. He was just an average, boring man. It was just the sort of balance I needed in my life.
That's pretty much the exact same reason I always enjoyed working with you, Miles.
All right. Should we ask about the relationship?
You and Ronan had a special relationship, didn't you?
Mr. Fordham, we're in an underground club. You don't have to tap dance around it. Yes, Ronan and I were a couple, at least up until last month.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
We had a misunderstanding. Ronan thought I had been seeing someone else. He was extremely jealous. I tried to explain that he had it all wrong, but he wouldn't hear me out. I was going to give him some time to cool off, but, well, that's not going to happen now, is it?
If it's any consolation, I found a letter you wrote him, which he still kept in his desk.
Damn. Thank you for telling me that.
All right. Well,
Thank you for your
not
time.
the election.
You're welcome.
So,
Miles, have you ever noticed that this Jimbo fellow fits the description of the man loitering outside the taxidermy shop? The barmaid told us she saw someone matching that description at the Raven on election night. Not only that, Priscilla just so happens to be the name of the ship Jimbo works on. And the pistol used to murder Ronan has the initials JB etched on it. Could be a coincidence. I think
yeah.
It's quite reasonable to consider him as a suspect.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that is quite the coincidence. If you know, return to Mrs. Morgan and accuse Jimbo. I don't want to do that yet. We need to speak to Ned. But we have got Jimbo as a suspect, our first proper suspect in the case. The pistol did have JB on it. The post-mortem thing said that it was shot at close range, and the doc said that it would be somebody who the victim trusted as well. So, yeah, maybe it was a case of Jimbo doing this. I don't know. So let's go now to Ned's residence and see what we can find out here.
Right this way, sir. Mr. Bunkeridge is in his gymnasium.
Thank you, my good man.
Well, you take a look at this place, and take a look at him. Maybe you should consider doing some training yourself, Miles. You aren't getting any younger after all.
All right, well, let's have a look around this place, shall we?
What in the ether is that supposed to be? Looks like some kind of medieval torture device. Then again, so does most of this newfangled exercise equipment. They don't look that heavy to me.
I'm sure.
This seems to be where Ned keeps his extra equipment and assorted other garbage.
Yeah. Some pictures and things. We looked at that. Some boxing
Look,
gloves.
maybe you can slip these on and go a couple of rounds with Ned. If that's his best right hook, he'll be a pushover.
I've just
after
seen
that
this.
expert knockout you delivered Officer Grant, he won't stand a chance.
I've just seen this awesome looking robot. That's really cool.
Some kind of martial art? Doesn't look like any I've ever heard of.
Okay. It's a rope.
Makes you wonder if old Netty boy is at the end of his rope, too. Just when I thought I'd seen it all. What will they think of next?
It's quite funny looking, isn't it? Right, I tell you what, guys, we're actually out of time, so we'll speak to Ned Bunkeridge in the next one, but I feel like we might be getting close on this case now. We've got a lot of clues. Our first suspect, maybe Ned will be involved, who knows? We'll figure it all out. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne, Nate, Terminally Nerdy, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle, Barry Aldridge, and Hobo for all the support on the channel. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.